Hi, so this week's column is about instant wrinkle fillers. Now I really like these products because obviously the skincare market is flooded, sort of overwhelmed with products implying that they're going to knock 5-10 years off your face, and you have these ridiculous cliches like Botox in a jar, Botox in a tube, and a great deal of it is a load of old tosh, and people are spending their money on something that I personally feel skincare cannot achieve. So by contrast, instant wrinkle fillers, you know exactly where you are. They do something very simple in a very sophisticated way, but nonetheless the act that they perform is very simple. What they do is they use silicones and things like hyaluronic acid that just stay on the surface of the skin and plump up wrinkles and just make them look a bit more shallow, not quite as severe, and it lasts until you've had a wash, or maybe a little bit less time, and you might need to touch up during the day. And that's the other genius thing about instant wrinkle fillers, is that most of them can go over makeup throughout the day. So you might have just put your normal makeup on in the morning, or even a bit of filler with it, and then if you're going out in the evening, you can just pop some on over your makeup, and because it's silicone and it just slips over the top rather than an oil or a water-based thing, it won't affect your makeup too much, which is great. You can just pop it in your handbag and it will literally just come off again in the next shower, because it doesn't go into your skin, it just stays on the surface. That's what it's there for. It's basically polyfiller for your face, and I sort of think there's something quite charming about the honesty of that in an industry that is so sort of flooded with misleading sort of faux science guff, really. I quite like the honesty about an instant filler. And also the good news is that the formulas now are really sophisticated and they go on really nicely and make your skin look great. So I'm just going to show you how to put them on. This is going to be a very short video because it couldn't be simpler, really. So this one from Clarins, I loved this. The reason I particularly loved it was just such a great package. You can just chuck that in your makeup bag. It's not like carrying skincare around. Fillers are not skincare, by the way. They're cosmetic products. There's one here, by the way, I should mention this because everyone's obsessed with it. Nano Blur. Nano Blur is selling like hotcakes everywhere at the moment. People are going mad for it. It's one of the biggest beauty stories of the year. I tested it for the column and it is fantastic. It's really good, but my skin's too dry for it. They say that if you have dry skin, you mix it with moisturiser, but I just didn't find it had as much of an effect filler-wise when it was mixed with moisturiser. But if you have any other kind of skin, it's fantastic. It's a really good product and a brilliant price. However, it was a bit drying on me, so I'm going to show you the Clarins one, which I love. So you just twist it up, out it comes, and it's thick silicone filler like you do the tiles in the bath with. And I sort of use my hand as a palette. And then at any point throughout the day, you can just dab it on any lines, and I just find it freshens up the area, stops it looking kind of crepey. It's not dramatic look, it's not like going to have Botox. Nothing is going to replicate putting a needle into a muscle and temporarily paralysing it, for goodness sake. I mean, nothing. There's no way you can put something, dab something topically on your skin that's going to have the same effect, but that's no bad thing, in my opinion. And it's certainly no bad thing to replace fillers, surgical fillers, because I think they're weird. I have scarcely seen fillers that look good. I mean surgical ones via a needle. Give me one of these any day. And just pat it onto any lines and it just softens them. It's a bit like stretching a nylon stocking over a camera lens or smearing Vaseline over a camera lens. It just makes everything a bit softer, a bit more soft focus. And you can put them anywhere. You can put them down deep lines. I'm a bit liney down here between my nose and mouth. So if you're touch up like that. If you're putting it on early doors when you wake up in the morning, put all your other base on. So put your foundation and concealer on, or tinted moisturising concealer on, and then put your filler on over the top of that. Don't put it under makeup, or at least I I don't particularly recommend doing that. I think the finish is slightly better if you put it on over your foundation, simply because if you put it on under your foundation, you tend to rub it away when you put your foundation on. The instructions do vary a lot though, so when you get your filler, read the instructions. Some of them will tell you to put it on before your makeup and leave it for 5 minutes to set. Some will say after your makeup. But I tested about 35 or so for this column, and I found that the majority of them worked best over foundation and concealer, and that way you weren't rubbing it away. That's the other thing I need to tell you about fillers. Do not rub away at them, dab them and massage them into the line. If you rub at them, sometimes the makeup of the formula will sort of break down and get bobbly and go into little balls, which is my worst thing, as you probably know by now. So that's that. There are so many good ones. I tested some really good high street ones, some really good very designer ones. It really is a question of finding the right one for you. I think quite often it's about the packaging. The packaging is really important because it's something, do you want it to be portable and take it around in your handbag, or do you just want it on your dressing table before a night out? So all these things are worth considering. But for the most part, they're all the same thing. For the most part, they're silicone. They're a silicone cream, a bit like a primer, but a lot thicker. And they do work well in conjunction with primer, and they just slip over lines, and just fill them in like polyfiller. Genius. And that is something you can rely on. You can believe it. It's very straightforward what it does. It's not making any elaborate claims. You don't need them if you're under 30, but if you're over 30, they're a really, really brilliant little tool. So let me know how you get on in the comment section with fillers and what your favourites are. My 6 favourites are in the column. Thanks very much. Bye.